Hey guys, Danielle here. Oh my god, I haven't talked to you guys in like forever and it kind of makes me sad because, well, I love talking to you guys, but let me tell you, school has been hectic. But anyways, yeah, this video is all about my first semester at college and how it went and everything like that. So yeah, let's just, hop right into it. But first off, I'm in a different background, no longer in my dorm back here. Speaking of dorm, I'm doing a dorm tour. This is kind of like bad to say, but I've been procrastinating it because, well, I feel like my room's not complete because I just keep adding more and more things to it and I want my room to be complete when I do a dorm tour for you guys. And I finally realized that my room's never going to be complete because I'm always adding new stuff to it. So I'm just going to show you a dorm tour when I get back, which isn't till January 12th, but yeah. I'm going to do a dorm tour for you guys. But yes, now all about college. Wow, college was crazy. Finals week was probably like the worst I've ever experienced. It was pretty crazy, and yeah, it was a life-changing experience. But we'll go to the beginning of the semester and I'm going to talk to you guys all about my classes. But I did have a first day video of my classes, and that's probably going to be like more real life than how I've dealt with the whole semester of classes. So if you want to see my first experience with my first 4 classes, I'm going to link it right here. But yeah, now my first classes. So talking about my classes, I had 6 classes total. 2 of them were mini sessions, quarter-long classes, whatever. So my first classes I had was a visualization studio, and it was a 3-hour-long class. It probably shouldn't have been 3 hours long. Yeah, it definitely was. It was very time-consuming. It was 9 to 11:40. Yeah, I didn't really like that. Well, I loved the class. I hated the time. In this class, actually, the visualization studio, I actually learned how to draw. I am not the best drawer in the entire world, and it's crazy that in like 16 weeks or something like that, I actually learned how to draw. So that's pretty awesome. I learned how to draw figures. My teacher was super awesome. Everything in that class I love. The people are amazing. And all my classes are like 20 people. All of my classes for my major, which is textiles, merchandise, and fashion design, those are all like 20 people in my class, and so it was like a tight knit family, and it was beautiful, and I absolutely loved it. My next class that I had was a math class. This was Math 101, and I passed it. Oh my god, yes! Not like I struggled to pass it because I was doing good the entire time, but that was the only math class I have to take. But now I have to take stats, which is kind of math, but at the same time it's more like theories, so I have to take that. But I'm not taking it next semester. I'll take it sometime my junior year or something like that. I don't know. But my class I took was Math 101. It was like 40-60 people. It wasn't bad because I sat in the front of the class, so I didn't feel like there were actually that many people there. I had a math group, and they were super awesome. I love them to death. So math was pretty awesome. I also, my teacher, oh my god, when he first walked into class, he was like wearing like Vans and like skinny jeans, and I was like, oh my god, this guy is not my teacher. And then he starts like talking like we're in class, and I'm just like, oh my god, I have like a 23-year-old teacher, and he was like kind of socially awkward, which is kind of bad to say, but he was so funny to listen to. He had like the funniest stories and stuff, and so that definitely kept the class interesting, so I really liked it. Overall, that was probably like one of my favorite classes that I went to, and it was 3 times a week for like an hour, so yeah, that's good that it was that I liked it, I guess. My next class was art history, and that class I kind of struggled. It was different for me because I was actually in a lecture hall full of, it was probably like 150 people, and yeah, I'm not the biggest art fan, and I don't really like art that much, like the studying of like art in the past, so that kind of, wasn't the best because it was just a lecture hall, and I'm pretty sure I fell asleep in his class at least once a week, so that was kind of bad, but my teacher, he wasn't that bad. He was okay. This class I was really like indifferent about, but I have to take Art History 102 next semester, which is the same thing, just like the later generation. It's like the Renaissance on forward. So I'm kind of really not thrilled about that class because I know it's going to be like the same lecture hall as this one is now. And I don't really know how I feel about a lecture hall full of like 150 people. I mean, the tests are like easy if you study for them because all you have to do is like memorize them, and memorizing and taking the time to do it. And, well, I'll be honest, I didn't really take as much time as I should have to memorize them, but yeah, so it was an okay class. I ended with an okay grade. It wasn't necessarily the best thing in the entire world, so yeah, at least I passed it. My next class after that would be garment assembly. This was a quarter-long class. It was probably one of the best class of my life, and did I say that? Best class of my life? Yeah, that makes sense. But in this class, I learned how to sew, and oh my gosh, it was so fun. I was so intimidated by the machines because, well, I sew on my mom's machine, but it was like, my mom's machine is like more like newer, and it has like a computer inside of it, and it's like touchscreen and stuff. And then we go to this class, and it's like a hardcore like mechanical utility machine that just has like levers and gears. And I was like, oh my gosh, I have no clue how to do this, but I learned how to sew on it, and I learned how to change needles and presser foots, and wow, it was crazy. But in this class, I learned how to make a dress, and if I had the dress with me, I'd show you guys, but it's still at school getting graded. But yeah, and my dress ended up like really pretty. I love it, except that I got kind of like spring colored fabric, and so it doesn't really match, and I can't really wear it right now, but I'll definitely be sure to wear it in the spring because oh my gosh, it's so pretty. It's just a really like bright floral print. And then in this class we also learned how to sew bags. Just that was like how we started, was learning how to sew a bag, and it was like super fun and easy. And yeah, and then she did quizzes. I failed a couple of them, but I mean, hey, I ended the class with an A+, so holla at your girl right here. But yeah, that was a really fun class, not just because I got a great grade, but because I learned how to sew some things, and now I just kind of like want to keep sewing and sew some more like outfits for myself. I think I might do that. And then my teacher, oh my gosh, she was so awesome. I love her. Oh, my teachers are so nice. She was just like, I don't know how to explain it. I felt like she's like my grandma because she was like teaching you how to sew, and you'd expect your grandma to teach you how to sew. Oh, everyone respected her. Everybody loved her. She was just super awesome. My next class that I had would be, I'm only at four classes. Oh, I had a library 101 class. That was the most pointless class in my life. So it was an online class, and it literally taught you how to like learn how to use a library with like databases and stuff, which you take this class in high school at least twice. Well, I had to anyways. I mean, you take it in middle school and high school, and it was just really pointless for me, but it was like I had to take it to graduate, so yeah. As soon as it was a pass no pass class, which means as soon as you reach the points to pass the class, you don't have to do anything for it anymore. So that was, it was really pointless. All you had to get was like 60 points, which was 6 quizzes, and basically they give you all these documents. So I just command F, or like, which is the find button, and you type in like the keyword, and it will give you the answer. And so that's how I passed all the quizzes. But God, it was the most pointless thing I've done in my life. I can't believe, well, at least it was only worth 1 credit, but it was so boring. Yeah, and then my last class, it was another online class, and it was clothing and human behavior. That class was a struggle. The online class, you had to read like a chapter a week, and you had to listen to the online lecture, and then there's also paper handouts. And the reason that it was so hard for me is just because it was online, and you actually have to motivate yourself to go online and look at it. So that kind of sucked. Yeah, the teacher, it was the same teacher that I had for my garment assembly, but she taught way different online, so that was kind of a struggle. It was more of like, do it yourself rather than let me help you do it. So that was a struggle. I didn't necessarily like this online class just because there was only three tests, and that was like your grade for the class was those 3 tests, so that was kind of a struggle, and I didn't know if I just felt like it wasn't an accurate like testing of how I know, like accurate, how do you say it, like an accurate assumption of what my grade should be, because I felt like we should have had more tests or quizzes to give you like a better grade or to like cushion it. But it was only those 3 tests, but I guess that's how college is. So yeah, I wasn't really too excited about that class. I did end up passing it, thank you. I passed all my classes, yes. I got a pretty decent GPA, ended with a 3.0, exactly, yay me. So I guess that's a B average. So yeah, that was good. College wasn't as hard as I expected it to be. It's just different because usually in high school your classes are like back to back to back, and then you're done like 8 to 3. But in college it's a little bit different. Like you have breaks between your classes. You have like maybe 2-hour breaks, or you have like 15-minute breaks where you have to run your ass to like the next class. But other than that, most of it was just pretty easy. I did have on my Tuesdays and Thursdays, I was never happy about this. I had a class at 9:30 and it ended at 10:45, and then I had another class at 4, and that was my Thursdays. It was 4 to 5:30. And that was my Tuesdays and Thursdays, and I really hated how I had like a 5-hour gap in between, but I couldn't really do much for it because, well, those were the class times. I feel like when you're in class, it feels like you're in high school, but the second you start taking the test, it's like you're in high school, but a little bit more advanced. So I'd say college is just a more glamified version of high school. The next thing I want to talk about is dorm life. Oh my gosh, I met some awesome people. My dorm is pretty rowdy. I actually live on the floor where like most of the sorority girls are at, because at least half of my floor is like all the people that live there. There's probably about like 60 people on my floor or something like that. And half of them were sorority girls, which kind of sucks because they're so loud and I hate it. But thank God a lot of people are actually like moving roommates or moving dorms. So the room next to me that made the most noise is completely like they've both moved out and gone their like separate ways because apparently they were having roommate problems. But yeah, for the most part, next semester should be way easier because I'm not gonna have any loud roommates next to me. So yeah, that should be great. Other than that, I met some really awesome people. Shout out to my homegirls if they're watching this, but I love my friend Caitlin, and Chloe, and then my roommate Mary. Oh my gosh, I love Mary to bits. She's like, oh, she's my best friend. But anyways, when I did a series called Off to College, where it was the 3-day countdown to college, I talked a lot about how my roommate like never really responded back and didn't really like talk much like through text or through Facebook, and it kind of made me like really nervous because I didn't know like if she liked me, if she was talkative, if she was quiet. I don't know, it just made me like really nervous because I didn't know her. But the second that I met her, the first like day or two, it was like a rough transition. Well, it wasn't really rough, it was like a smooth transition, but we didn't really have that like heart to heart where we like broke down and like talked to each other about like our lives and just got to know each other. But like after like the 3rd day, like me and her were like BFFs. Like I just love her. But she's like super awesome. The reason that she wasn't talking to me or talking back much was, well, Mary has a basic phone and she just doesn't believe much in like technology and Facebook and stuff like that. So yeah, that was a weird experience for me, knowing that someone isn't all revolved around like technology. But she lives in Fargo and it's not really like a stereotype because like everyone in her family has iPhones and stuff like that, but she just chose to have like a basic like phone and just like live her life more around the people around her and not so much worrying about her phone, which is actually like really awesome because sometimes I just can't get myself off my phone. But oh my gosh, I love Mary. She's literally my best friend, and I love my friends Caitlin, and Chloe, and it's kind of funny that we say Caitlin and Caitlin, but oh my gosh, they're so awesome. I love all of them, and we're actually, well, to address a question that was in one of my other videos was, they asked me why did I decide to do dorming if I live 10 minutes away from home. It's true, it costs a lot of money, but it was more of a personal experience for me because, well, I felt like I was too aged for my time. Like I'm only 19 and I felt like I was like 25 because I worked at Verizon, and at Verizon they give you all these benefits like a 401k and like dental and doctor, and they just give you all these benefits, and I was like I had a salary. Like it wasn't an hourly pay, it was like a salary, and it was good money, and I just felt really old before my time because I was like, wow, I'm like committing myself to like a full-time job like day in day out. And well, I just felt old before my time, so that's why I went ahead and decided to go live in dorming because, well, I want to be young and wild and free because, you know what, I'm 19 and I'm not ready to settle down yet. So that's definitely what I went ahead and did. And yeah, that's basically the reason why I chose to live there. But I'm so happy that I chose to live there because I made some great friends, and I'm so excited because Emily's coming back to Nebraska. Woo! And yeah, dorming is pretty expensive. It's about $10,000 for I think it's the year. If it's a semester I might cry, but I'm pretty sure it's just for the year. And it was just, well, it's a lot of money, but that's okay because I would gladly pay this money to have this experience. But next year, we are already, me, Chloe, Caitlin, and everybody, well, all my friends. It's mostly just me, Caitlin, Mary, and Emily. We're talking about getting an apartment next year, like a 4-bedroom, really cheap apartment that still looks nice. So we're looking at getting one of those just to like save money because, well, we all don't want to live at home. And especially if, Mary lives in Fargo. She can't really live at home, but she wants to do something cheaper. Well, everybody does because it's kind of expensive, but I don't regret it at all. Not like one single bit. One thing that I learned about dorming by myself, or dorming with Mary, but you know, not with parents, is that you get a lot more freedom. You get a lot more freedom. Blech, I can't talk. But about that, it's kind of like, I felt like I was still at home. Like I did everything, like, it wasn't like I had like a curfew or anything, but I did things like I would normally do. I guess if you have strict parents and you go to college and you're like, yeah, freedom, you might go a little crazy and you might have a rough first semester, but I basically just did things like normal. I came home at, you know, I guess decent times, not really late, not really early. But things were just really like a smooth transition for me. It's a lot of freedom, but at the same time, you have to take a lot of responsibility and still remember to study for your classes and things like that. But the freedom aspect was like just really slow transition for me because, like I said, it didn't really do much for me. That's just kind of my experience with college. And like I said, if you guys have any questions, just leave them down below. But yeah, thank you guys so much for watching. Bye!